Morning, Detective Superintendent Danny Doherty, Commander Homicide Squad, State Crime Command. I'm here to talk about the triple homicide that occurred over the last couple of days, and the investigation was taken over by the Homicide Squad yesterday. As an update, a man has been placed under arrest in hospital overnight following the discovery of 3 bodies in Sydney's northwest yesterday. Just to recap, about 11:50 p.m. on Monday the 19th of February 2024, a 49-year-old man presented himself to Westmead Hospital suffering from apparent stab wounds or slash wounds to his chest and arms and stomach. Officers attached to Parramatta Police Area Command attended the hospital, commenced an investigation where the man told police he had been attacked in the car park of the supermarket on Church Street in North Parramatta early that evening. Just before 10:30 a.m. yesterday, Tuesday the 20th of February 2024, officers attached to the Hills Police Area Command were called to Watkins Avenue in Baulkham Hills following a concern for welfare report. On arrival, police located the body of a 39-year-old man who appeared to have suffered several fatal stab wounds. About 12:30 p.m. the same day, yesterday, officers attached to Parramatta City Area Command located the bodies of 41-year-old woman and a 7-year-old boy at a sporting academy at Daking Street in North Parramatta. The woman and the boy appear to have died as a result of injuries inflicted during an assault. Local police commenced initial inquiries before State Crime Command's Homicide Squad took carriage of the investigation under Strike Force Banara. Crime scenes were established and examined by forensic police at both locations. Following extensive inquiries, about 11:20 p.m. last night, Strike Force detectives attended Westmead Hospital where the 49-year-old man was placed under arrest. The man remains under police guard in hospital, receiving treatment for his injuries, and is expected to be charged at some stage. Happy to take questions.
What did the 7-year-old, are you able to determine how the 7-year-old boy died?
What we can say is the 41-year-old woman and the 7-year-old boy were, or what we're going to allege, they were subjected to an assault. We'll allege it was murderous intent and they died from their injuries.
Did that assault occur inside the sporting academy?
Yes. So what we will allege, that both the boy and his mother were killed inside the martial arts centre sometime between 5:30 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. on Monday, 19th of February. Again, this was, as a result of yesterday, and with all the concern from welfare and how it unfolded, a set off a chain of events that I think it's not only tragic in the circumstances, but the consequences were cataclysmic. And we've just lost 3 people from one family who've had their lives taken away, and what we allege is a murder.
Was the male who was located at Baulkham Hills, was he allegedly killed at that address, or the North Parramatta one?
So what we believe and what we will allege, and again this is a fairly early on in an investigation which is still ongoing, there's still examinations of scenes going, there's still canvassing going, there's still witnesses' statements, there's still ongoing inquiries. We have a man in hospital who's under police guard, so this is still fairly early. However, what we allege, and from the information provided and what we've been able to glean from our canvassing and from our data collection, is that the woman and the child were murdered at North Parramatta, and then at some stage after 6:30 p.m. we'll allege that the 49-year-old man who's in hospital has travelled to Baulkham Hills and has had a confrontation with the 39-year-old man there, who's the father of the child, and as a result of that confrontation he's been stabbed to death. How after that, what we allege is then, at some stage, just before midnight, this 49-year-old man presented himself to Westmead Hospital. Now, how those injuries were sustained or inflicted is still to be determined.
Their family, it's been reported that they were from Korea. Are they originally from Seoul, and how are efforts going to contact extended family?
Okay, so we believe that all parties are originally from South Korea, or at least their original nationality. The consulate has been contacted a number of occasions, and they're assisting police with their inquiries as well.
Are you able to elaborate on the relationship between the victims and the alleged perpetrator and that studio where the mother and the child were
Yep.
found?
Well, three victims or one family. You've got a husband and wife and their 7-year-old child. So again, it's a very sad, tragic event. And what we can say is they were living together in Balcombe Hills. That's the information we've received so far. And the 7-year-old child regularly attended the martial arts centre, the taekwondo lessons, and on Monday afternoon or evening was going to that attend another lesson. So they were known to the 49-year-old instructor who is now in hospital. So there was a relationship in terms of knowing that he was the instructor for the taekwondo. We're still establishing what other connections or what other relationships may have been or may not have been. However, what we will allege is, and that motive we can't speculate on. We really can't. It's too early, and we will endeavour to get to more information as the investigation progresses. However, what we do know is, and what we will allege is that the 49-year-old is the only person responsible, and we will allege that he's responsible for the murder of all three victims.
Is the 49-year-old known to police, and has he been cooperating with investigators?
Well, he's in hospital receiving treatment. He just underwent surgery, still recovering from that surgery. And to date, what we can say is last night we informed him he was formally under arrest. His rights were explained to him, which he understood, and that's as far as we are at the moment. He's under guard. He's got his rights. He will, in due course, we'll see how that unravels from there. However, either way, we intend on laying charges, and there'll be 3 murder charges.
Was he known to police already?
Sorry?
Was he previously known to police?
Again, I'm not going to comment or expand on whether he was known to police or not. What I can say is that he was an instructor at that martial arts academy, and obviously the victims would have been known to him through their son being a student at that martial arts academy. That's all I can say in relation to his history.
Whether or not there's any sort of romantic relationship between the two?
Again, it's too early to speculate on, and I can't really speculate on motive, especially when we're still in the initial parts of our investigation and we've got a person under arrest, and he's going to more than likely face court very soon. So it's a point where I don't want to speculate on something that's been a tragic chain of events. We've got three people from this one family. It's devastating. It's been a harrowing experience for the families and friends of the 3 victims. They're still dealing with this, and so I'm not going to speculate on any motive at this stage.
Are there any, of the 3, are there any family members left in Australia?
Yes, well, the actual parents of the 39-year-old male, they've been informed in person by the police. They'll continue to get that support. And again, as I said before, further inquiries are being conducted by the consulate in relation to any other family members that need to be contacted.
Can I just ask about what the 49-year-old man who is now in hospital told emergency services or the hospital staff or police at the hospital when he first presented with those injuries? So he said that he sustained those injuries in a car park. Is that the first sort of thing that he said as a result of his injuries?
All I can say is what I said before in relation to that. Initially told well, the police were informed that he was attacked or assaulted at North Parramatta. However, and that's how that investigation commenced. Part of that ongoing investigation was being conducted, but at the same time a concern for welfare was raised in relation to the 39-year-old man at Balcombe Hills, and that's why police attended and forced entry into the place and found him deceased.
Did he drive himself to hospital, or was someone else involved?
What was it, sorry?
Did he drive himself to hospital, or did someone
What I can say, and again, this information is quite fluid at the moment. However, what we believe is the 49-year-old man, and what we will allege from the information we've received so far, used a white BMW, which was we believe was the female victim's, the 41-year-old victim's car. Left the Martial Arts Academy sometime after 6:30 p.m. on Monday the 19th of February. At some stage has met up or confronted the 39-year-old man at Balcombe Hills. We will allege that he has murdered the man at Balcombe Hills, and then at some stage after that has driven that vehicle to Westmead Hospital to present himself and get treatment for his injuries. So that's the timeline we are. So obviously we're still making these inquiries and trying to get a timeline. There's a large amount of inquiries still to be conducted, and it's still ongoing. They're out there now. The investigators are out there now canvassing and making inquiries, getting statements, looking at the timeline, collecting CCTV, dash cam, other data. So it's an ongoing investigation. So that's the information we have to hand. And we have a 49-year-old man in hospital, under arrest, under police guard.
Are you able to clarify in terms for the Balcombe Hills welfare call, who made that call?
It's a friend of the family.
Have police found a murder weapon or on that site, or is there evidence to suggest that it was dumped elsewhere at either scene?
I'm not going to speculate on murder weapons at this stage. Again, it's still been examined. There's still lots of inquiries going. What I can say is what I said before, that the 41-year-old woman and the 7-year-old child were assaulted. As a result of that assault, has died from their injuries, and that the 39-year-old man at Balcombe Hills was stabbed. In relation to weapons, we're not going to speculate at this stage. It's still ongoing. We're still collecting evidence and data and information as we go along.
Just to clarify, the story that he gave to emergency services at the hospital, are you alleging that that is a total fabrication of what happened?
Well, we're still making that as an assessment of what happened. However, for the information we've received to date, we believe there's enough evidence to place him under arrest and have charges pending for murder.
How soon are you expecting to lay those charges? And last question.
Well, it depends on the. We have to look at this man being recovering from surgery as a result of his injuries. So that's if he's released, well, that will happen. If it's not, we'll arrange a bedside court, and hopefully that will happen today.
Can I just ask what prompted police to go to the martial arts area after finding the body at the Balcombe Hills house?
Part of the ongoing investigation, once we found obviously the deceased 39-year-old man at Balcombe Hills, there was a number of inquiries conducted that led us to North Parramatta, and when Parramatta Police went there, they were unfortunately found the bodies of the 41-year-old woman and the 7-year-old child inside the actual Martial Arts Academy.
So the bodies weren't moved?
No, they weren't moved. They were in situ. We believe, and what we'll allege is that that this man assaulted both victims inside the Martial Arts Academy, and that's where the bodies were. And again, it's horrendous to think about. And the actions by the man will be subject to charge. So I have to be careful what I say. I don't want to be sub judice, but that's what we allege. What's happened, and then he's left the academy, or the Martial Arts Academy, to go to Balcombe Hills. And this is where part of this, not only updating with the fact that he's under arrest, is we're still appealing. It's early in the investigation. We're still seeking assistance from the community. We're still hoping that other people might be able to fill some timelines in for us. I'm sure that people would have been around the Martial Arts Academy, if not inside and outside, around between 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. on Monday the 19th of February at North Parramatta in Daking Street. A lot of people, as you know, were around at that time. They may have seen or heard something or been told something. They may have seen unusual behaviour with this man in the white BMW travelling or leaving from North Parramatta to Balcombe Hills, and they may have been other people at Balcombe Hills that we also appealed who may have seen or heard something or know something. It's really important for us.
So they knew each other.
Yep.
Have you established any warnings that these people were under threat? Was there anything going on behind the scenes?
Again, I'll be careful what I say, but in terms of what we have established so far, that this was a loving family. They were, you know, and again, you know, it's something where anything that involves a child being murdered it's you know, it's tragic.
You wonder why.
And you wonder why. And again, but what we will allege, and I've got to be careful because again, man is under arrest. We will allege that the one person was responsible. It was the 49-year-old man, that he's and you know, it's a point where we'll leave the motive and we'll leave the consequences. All I can say is the consequences, as I said before, cataclysmic, and you know, it's a tragic circumstances, and that's where we are at the moment. The family's still dealing with the news and the friends, but we believe there was no warnings. No, it was from what we have gathered so far. I've been talking to different witnesses. It was out of it was out of the blue. There was something that wasn't forewarned. There was nothing that could have put a red flag up, as far as we understand, and that's where we are with that. So we are still seeking assistance, as I said. And anyone's got information can either contact local police or Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
You said he would be appearing in court soon. Can we expect a bedside court hearing?
Well, we're trying to arrange. Obviously, we're just assessing his health condition, and then there'll be a determination, depending on that, whether there'll be a need for bedside court or not, or whether otherwise we will arrange that, and we'll keep an update and let everyone know later on that update when charges are going to be laid.
Thanks, Bob. I can help with any other questions you guys have.
Right, thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.